You got a speeding ticket in Virginia, and you're probably wondering what you can do that might help your chances at court. There are a few things that I recommend that people do when they call me and tell me they've gotten a speeding ticket. The first thing I recommend is that they make a record of everything they can remember about the ticket while it's still fresh in their mind. So was there much other traffic around? Were there any weather conditions like fog or rain? Did the officer happen to mention how the officer determined your speed? The second thing I recommend is that you keep your ticket, or at least a copy of your ticket, so you have all the important information, such as the courthouse your case will be heard in, the name of your officer's department, and your court date. There are also a number of mitigating things that I recommend that people do when facing a speeding ticket. The first mitigating step that I usually recommend is that people attend a Virginia DMV approved driver improvement clinic, or many people just call it traffic school. The second thing I recommend is that people have the speedometers on their vehicle calibrated. Virginia Code Section 46.2-942 allows for the introduction into evidence at trial where a defendant is accused of exceeding the speed limit a notarized certificate of calibration for the speedometer. The third mitigating thing I recommend is that people obtain a copy of their driving record, and I usually recommend at least 5 years of your driving history. That's important because judges are often concerned about how many previous tickets a person has. And if you have a clean driving record or a relatively clean driving record, you're more likely to receive leniency from the judge. The fourth and final mitigating thing I usually recommend, and this is typically only for higher speed cases that cross over into reckless driving by speed, is that the individual begin to volunteer with a nonprofit organization and then to have a supervisor at that organization produce a letter on their letterhead detailing the type of work you did and the number of hours you completed. And this can often be persuasive in cases where there's a threat of jail time. If you or a loved one happen to be facing a speeding ticket and have questions or concerns, it is important that you contact a local traffic defense attorney to discuss what your options are and any defenses you might raise. Many attorneys, such as myself, offer free consultations to give you an idea of what your chances might be at trial and a general idea of the court process.